So here we are again, back in Mittenron, the Empire of the Grey Knights. Not a very pithy introduction, but there you go. So, last time I was streaming, I'd had the floor plan down for this. I was starting to work on one of these sections. As you can see, the outer ring is now actually finished. A little further along than I think I was expecting to be at this point. Some of the roofs got a little awkward, and roofs always get awkward for me because I build such odd-shaped buildings. But, yeah, oh, that's not right. The building's not actually finished. You probably could tell just a moment ago when I was flying over the top of it, there's actually an inner section that needs to be done. Not fully clear on exactly what that's going to turn out to be like. Let me show you. Obviously we clearly have the central tower that's going to go in, but some hints here of walkways from the outer ring into the middle. Only the one in place at the moment, and the fact is, I think I was aware of this as I was going along, and it's pretty much like this. You know, it's going to be these two. I don't think this part lends itself to it. I don't want to fill in too much of the space anyway. It did occur to me, you can see I start to do this weird broad arching thing here. It did occur to me to fill this in as a you know, just an extension of room as such, for all four of these sides, which would dramatically cut down the inner space, but, you know, inner space at the moment isn't really up to much. You know, it's just sort of there. So, you know, it's kind of up in the air. I'm going to put some windows in place while I carry on rabbiting, and then actually start smacking around at it, see what I can get done, see what I can figure out. I tried to do the windows as I went along. I did a lot of the decoration as I went along, in fact. So, like, this stuff, you know, this was all done. I usually don't do this until afterwards, and it becomes incredibly tedious to do it all in one go once the building is up. Which is why many of my buildings aren't always completely decorated, and very few of them have actual windows everywhere. So yeah, it's a question of making myself do something I don't really want to do. I'm sure we all understand what that's like. So, for the time being, I do actually plan on staying here a little while. Coltran, as this place is called, is going to be developed into a pretty decent sized town, I think. Not too clear on what exactly I'm going to add. Thinking about adding a hospital. It's a building that I don't put up often enough for some of these places, but I tend to... I don't plan the building very well. I know I don't plan very well anyway. I talked about this before, but I need to... I think I need to have a much more solid idea about exactly what I want such a building to look like. Yeah, I mean, we've got all of this, obviously. Plenty of room, obviously. Plenty of room. Where exactly I'm going fully with this, I don't know. I feel if this is going to be developed into a large, like a proper large town area, I'm really going to need to install a rail system. The thing with the rail system is it's quite a bit of a pain in the ass, because I never put them into the ground, like, you know, flat along the surface like this road is. I build them up, or elevated, which makes them such a headache. especially the archwork. The other problem I've got is that we are quite some way from any kind of overground connection. Not sure why I'm backing up. Oh. I saw a sheep and for some reason thought it wasn't a sheep. No idea what else it could have been. Yeah, there's a road all the way through here, marked out, not decorated yet because obviously only just starting to develop Coltran, so tend not to put roads to nowhere. And I think I've lost it. Have I lost the road? Yeah, it's over here. So yeah, this is the Igwe. This is the main road going west to the central city. The underway is the hyperway is actually underneath here. The road at this point is, I believe, following almost directly. I think this glowstone here is actually marking directly over the top of the line. So, yeah, there's room there to actually install an underground section, an underground component to the rail system, to bring it into the Coltran area. I don't like building underground, but, you know, it's the situation I put myself in, so I have to do it if I really want to do a connection. But that's going to be, I think, later. No point connecting by minecart to something that is essentially just two buildings at the moment, one of which isn't even finished. So let's focus a little bit and get on with that. Where was I? So, I think I'm going to probably best to get the tower built up a little bit. Decide how I want to do the other stuff. I'm not sure what to do about this. I don't want to knock out too much of the dirt. You know, it was a sort of semi-natural hill that led me to position it here anyway. I kind of put this doorway in here and you can get in underneath, but you know, it's not exactly spacious. It's kind of a little pointless. So yeah, I'll again, I think I just have to build up the tower, see how I want to finish the tower. I don't want it to be too tall. I don't want it to be one of my tall towers put up before. One of the this building I've nicknamed quadrathedra. That's what I've dubbed it. Quadrathedral, probably interchangeable. It's based on the central city, which has 4 proper full-size cathedrals based on real buildings, laid out end to end, so they meet in the middle. And it's called the Quadrathedralopolis. So I came up with this idea that given that the Grey Knights have no emphasis on a particular direction on the map, having ordinary cathedrals, which are obviously aligned to be predominantly, you know, emphasis on facing, I think, the dawn. So is it the doors face east? Something like that, anyway. So that just seemed odd. Like the Grey Knights wouldn't do that. I mean, it might make sense that, say, a cathedral in the north of the Empire might be aligned so the door is facing south towards the central city. That, you know, that was okay, but I don't know. I just felt like that I needed a new building, which is where the Quadrathedra comes in. So moving forward in other environments, I will probably put one of these up rather than an actual traditional style cathedral. This one I feel is a tiny bit too small. The ring could have been done with being bigger, so there was more space in the middle, and that I could have actually extended these all back, say along that kind of line, maybe even further out. But as you can see, the further out, the wider I make it, the less space is left. Which, okay, fine. You know, this is a pretty decent outdoor space to come outside into. Not really what I wanted for the building, but you know, that's a problem that can be solved just by making the next one bigger. But that's somewhere in the future. I've off the top of my head, I have no plans, no idea where I would actually put up another quadrathedra at the moment. So we're here. but we're here now. And so anyway, so it's not too bad. Not entirely happy actually that this is open like this, partly because of the stairs. Obviously, can't put the doorway down on a step like this, so it kind of screws up where the doors would go. Not too sure. I feel like it's not too bad that this is open, because what I'm actually about to do, obviously, is the actual, like, enclosed space is going to be up here, and you're going to access this from the sides. That does still leave... I mean, at the moment I'm building it as if I'm leaving a gap in here, which I do like doing. I like being able to look down sometimes inside the buildings. Not too sure. Yeah, I'm not too sure how this is going to end up yet. Anyway, it's kind of an update now on what I've been doing. I'm going to go silent for a little while. Well, I may carry on talking, in fact, but I like to edit the videos down after about 10 to 12 minutes, just of reviewing where I am and what I'm planning to do. And that would be now.